video is how to tap into your higher self. And a lot of us right now are really seeking and searching on how to really reconnect and become the best version of ourselves. And I think that's great that you are here watching this video with me, because over the past 25 years, I have been soul seeking, and really doing a lot of self-development in, being the best version of myself, because all of us have that better, best version within us. And a lot of us are just right now deciding to unleash that and just show the world who we really are, instead of dimming our light in so many areas. And I think that I've seen this with so many people where we do dim our light and we are our smaller version of ourselves, because that we don't want to be noticed, or we want to be part of the tribe. And if we shine our light super bright, then what happens is that, either the tribe that we're currently with, our friends, family members, might look at us differently, might not agree with the lifestyle that we choose to live in regards to self-development, or becoming that better version of ourselves, healthier version of ourselves, because then, we're becoming different. We're not staying that same version of who we were. And that can be a little bit uncomfortable for some people. So what are some tips and techniques that I have done over the years in order to really connect with my higher self? Well, of course, the first thing is taking out the poison that is currently in our mind. And a lot of us have a lot of things that are going on that are poisoning our mind. Number one, social media. And I say this very significantly, because I think that so many people don't realize the significance of how social media is creating poison in our brain, and it's creating an environment in which it is changing our energy vibration. Everything we watch, everything that we do has an energy to it, and social media definitely does. So even if we're scrolling and we're looking at a lot of different content, we don't realize that each thing that we're looking at, even whether it could be deemed as truth, that there's an energy behind it. So it could be a truth, but fear behind it. There could be truth, but a lot of hatred and anger behind it. There could be truth, but hostility, aggression behind it. And when we're done watching it, what we do is we normally feel like, wow, I feel really low energy. I don't feel the vibration that I felt before, where I felt like really active and I felt like I had a lot of energy within me. And a lot of people just don't even realize that, because they're scrolling so much throughout the day. They don't realize how low energy scrolling through social media actually creates for them. So really take note at how it affects you energetically before and after you watch this, any type of content, any type of scrolling. And I really, really think that it's a good idea, especially if you're really trying to reconnect with yourself, is to have only specific times a day that you decide to scroll. And this is really interesting, because you will see how many times a day you will reach for your phone to either look at an email or to look at a text, and you will find yourself scrolling and not even realize, oh my God, I can't even believe that I did that, because it has become such a perpetual habit within so many of us. So to set a timer and to disconnect from that. The other one is pretty basic. A lot of people have already started to do this, but if you haven't, don't watch the news anymore, ever. And I know that, it is an ancestral thing from our parents, grandparents, and maybe not so much great grandparents, because there wasn't really the same type of news, but our parents and grandparents especially, who watched the news every single night at supper time, 5 or 6 o'clock is when they watched it, or after supper. And people are like, oh, well, you need to know what's going on in your neighborhood or whatever. You actually don't. It is not important. If there is going to be a tornado hitting, if there's going to be something, you're going to hear about it from your friends and family, because I guarantee they're going to text you or call you or let you know if something really drastic is about to happen or happening. So you don't need to worry about that. The news is only, created and fed by the one side of the government. It's just government orientated, fed through us. So it's only one side that we're seeing. A lot of it is lies. I would say 90% of it is lies. And it is meant to put you in fear, because the more people are in fear, the more they want to stay tuned to see what's going to happen next. And so it's all rigged in that sense. So just disconnect from it. Focus on yourself and focus on your family. And the more you do that, you are going to notice that you're going to live a more fulfilled life. And you're going to see how that fear that was always really locked in with you is starting to dissipate and starting to, go by the wayside. The next thing is obviously meditation. Finding some sort of meditation that works really good for you. So that can be sitting in silence every morning or every night. It can be, just sitting in prayer. It can be sitting in nature and sitting beside water, whatever works for you. Then, start to create that practice every single day and have it, it doesn't have to be at the exact same time every day, but just make sure that, okay, I'm going to do this every morning, or I'm going to do this every night. And as long as you know that when you're doing that really fills you up and you feel really good with this, then continue to do it. If you're doing meditation and you've been doing it for 3 or 4 months and you're like, this isn't really working for me, then figure something else out that's going to really connect you to your spirit and to your soul. And so that can be just going for a walk every day. It can be doing yoga. It can be doing Pilates. It can be just doing some Qigong or, anything like that that's going to connect you. It can be listening to singing bowls. It can be just singing. It could be dancing. It could be any of those things to do something to connect with yourself. Now, if you haven't done a meditation practice before and this is the beginning of it for you, you do have to understand that it does take a while to get into that practice, and it does take a while to find that quiet space. So meditation isn't canceling all thoughts. Like, it's not that you're not thinking. Sorry, my dog is walking around everywhere. It is about quieting the ego and all of the fears and everything that's going on. So typically what I find that really helps is just listening to the sound of my heartbeat. So you might want to start with just using some earplugs and just starting to listen to your heartbeat and listening to the sound of your breath, and just follow the sound of your breath. And you know what? Thoughts are going to come in and thoughts are going to go out. Allow that to happen. I've said this in other videos, especially in the videos that I have with journaling and how you can, when you start journaling for 3 months, how it can change your life. I journal before I meditate, because then you're getting all these thoughts out. You're hashing out everything so that you can really release and you can have a more peaceful time with yourself, because you're not thinking about the to-do list, because you've already written it down. You've already written out any of the things that are going on with your life right now. And then you can be more peaceful and get into that. You can sit with a candle and just watch the flickering flame. That will really help to calm your mind as well. There's a lot of different things that you can do in order to just quiet that beautiful mind of yours and find that inner peace. And then after 3 or 4 months, then you can make a decision if this is something that you want to continue doing. For me, I've been doing it for close to 20 years, and I find that it brings me so much peace to do. The next thing that I definitely do on a day-to-day basis is just making sure that I take the time out to have intentions when I first wake up. So whatever that is, like, I will open my eyes and I will set my intentions for the day. So today, I'm going to have a wonderful day. Today, I'm going to make sure that I get in my workout. Like one thing, you can say one thing, you can say 2 or 3 things. Today, I am going to be intentional about what beautiful food I put in my body. Today, my intention is, I'm going to get this specific project finished, and I'm going to do it with joy and excitement. And we are really trained in this part of the world to our perception always goes to the negative. Our end result always goes to the negative. So when you are working with, becoming the best version of yourself, it's retraining your mind to start thinking of the best case scenarios, no matter what state that is. Like whatever's going on with work, whatever's going on with things that might seem negative, well, you can change that around. Well, maybe this is happening for the greater good in some way. I just don't see it yet. And then that way, you are going about your day feeling better because you know that I really do believe that everything happens for us, not to us, and that we can shift and change our life just based on our intentions and our thoughts and our behaviors. We can shift those things. We have that in our control, and we can maneuver that so that we can have a much better day. So I set intentions every single day. And that's why I love Mondays. Like, everybody thinks that's so crazy, but I love Mondays. When Monday comes, that's like, okay, this is a productive day. I love being productive. I love being active. And so I write out all the things I want to do the day before for Monday. And then when Monday comes, then I have my intentions of the specific things that I want to do, but also how I want to feel. So I set those intentions too. So I am going to be really excited today. I'm going to, I'm going to feel really happy as I go about my day. And this is important. This isn't just woo. There's a lot of science that goes behind when we set intentions for our day and make a decision that we're going to be happy and that we're going to be loving towards ourselves. Then that is how our day will unfold. There's going to be, bumps in the road, and there's going to be things that come up that might deter us just momentarily. But then, if you're the type of person that knows that what your trajectory is, then you can just get yourself back on the same path. You get back on the right path, and there you go. The next thing is I set intentions for putting good food in my body. And by doing that, sometimes we need to pre-plan our meals. And that's not always easy for a lot of people because we've got a lot of kids, we've got a lot of, work, we've got a lot of things going on and activities. So one day a week, morning, afternoon, or evening, plan to take some time to pre-plan a bunch of meals, and you can throw it in the fridge or freezer so that, for 3 days, you will have that food when you come home, so that you're not going to fast food restaurants, you're not putting in these low vibrational foods that are going to pull you down. Because as you're aligning with yourself and as you're connecting to your higher self, food really, really has a frequency. It has a vibration. And so it's really important to take note of that and realize that the quality of the food that you're putting in your body is affecting your mood. It is affecting your whole physiology, your energy levels. It's affecting just how you're vibrating on a general level. And so if we can try to get into more organic food as much as possible and having more nutrient dense foods, whatever that is for you, it can be lots of fruits and vegetables. And if you do meat, really good quality meats like your local butcher or local farms around you, and putting those types of foods in you where you know where it's coming from. And for me in the summer, I juice a lot. So I just sip on my juice throughout the morning, and I just love that feeling of how that juice is hydrating my body on a cellular level. But I'm also really feeling that energy with those fruits and vegetables, connecting with me. And I feel like my meditations are deeper, and I feel so much lighter, and I have so much more energy because I'm hydrating my body on a deeper level as well. So those things are really important to be cognizant of and mindful of. And it is fine, when, there's an event or a festival or, a birthday, and you're having a barbecue or you're having cake or whatever, that's fine. But the issue is with most people is that they will have that and then say, oh, well, I guess I had this today, I'll start Monday having, a healthy diet, and then they'll binge. And that is not, something you don't need to do. You don't need to continue in that old way of thinking, in that old paradigm. The most important thing is like, okay, you had that for lunch or supper, your next meal, have a healthy meal. And you just get back on track. You just remember how much you love to feed your body healthy food. You remember that you are on this track of health and wellness and really connecting with yourself. And by doing that, it is really becoming aware of how foods make you feel and different foods make you feel. And I do have another video on intuitive eating and really showing you how to start the steps on becoming more aware of how food affects you and feeling those feelings and increasing your intuition so that dieting isn't something that ever needs to be part of your vocabulary anymore, and that you can really just go with what feels right for you, and that eating for the seasons or eating for what you're doing to really enhance your life can be done. We can reconnect, and the more you connect with your inner self and do all of these steps, you're going to find that choosing the right types of food and lifestyle, eating lifestyle, will be very easy. And you guys, we have seasons too. So some seasons you might be eating, I'm talking about like weather seasons, I'm talking about your life seasons. Some seasons when you're going through more stress, you're going to need more carbs. Some seasons you're going to want to have more just fruits and vegetables and you don't want meat at all. Some seasons you might be like, I really want meat. Some seasons you're going to feel, like I just want some juice. I want to have my own fruit juice, vegetable juices every day. And you just need to go with that flow. And again, as you go along your journey, you're going to become more in tune with what feels right and what works for you in that sense. Creating healthy habits is absolutely essential, whatever that is for you. And it is making an intention to set new habits and see within a 3-month period how that feels for yourself and how that can change your life. And knowing that nobody is perfect and just also giving up that perfectionism. I see that so much and everywhere, especially in this day and age where people are striving to be perfect. And there's no such thing. And not only is there no such thing, but that creates a lot of stress on ourselves and on our psyche, and we just don't need it. So it is doing the best you can when you can, and just having the best intentions for yourself. And when something doesn't go your way, or maybe, you go and eat something that you feel that was not right for you and you shouldn't have done it, don't feel guilt. Guilt is such a low vibrational feeling. You tell yourself you did the very best you can. The next meal I'm getting back on track. I'm not going to have guilt about this. Because when we have guilt and shame, that lower vibration not only lowers our energy, but it affects our digestion and it slows down our digestion process. So just be joyous, be loving and caring towards yourself, and know that, the next meal, you just get back on track. So those are my top tips for you. But the very last one is one I've said in many videos, and that is reconnecting with nature. So getting out into nature and reconnecting, and that is grounding your feet, whether that's just out in your backyard, if that's just out in your local park, if that's where you can be by water and be by all the elements and just to disassociate without a phone, be with friends, be present, then you're going to notice that your whole life is going to shift and change, and you are going to really reconnect with yourself, and you're going to see how wonderful that feels. So I hope that you were able to pick up some tips and techniques on this video, and I'll see you on the next one. If you like, you can like and subscribe, and I will see you shortly.